Good afternoon, faculty. My name is John Van Slyke. I am your AHE president, AHE, the Association for Higher Education. I'm sending out this screencast to help inform you of some what I hope will be relevant and timely information for you. Let me back up first. Here it is. It's Friday afternoon. I'm getting ready to take off, and it may be that this information won't find you until Monday morning, in which case I hope you've had a fine weekend. I'm continuing something that my predecessor, Susan Palmer, past AHE president, a little sort of regular update that she came up with called Know Your Contract. From time to time, I think it's important. Most of you aren't all that excited to look through your contract and use it as sort of bedstand reading. Usually we learn about provisions of the contract, unfortunately, by experiencing difficulty or misfortune and having to educate ourselves as to what the official agreement is between administration and the faculty, which is embodied in our contract. But sometimes I like to inform you, educate you to things that seem to be relevant and hopefully forestall or get out ahead of potential problems. Most of you know that next week is advising week, and as such, a great many of us will be meeting for the most part on Tuesday, although these advising sessions oftentimes spill over into other days of the week, but Tuesday is a day that has been set aside specifically for the purposes of advising students. And similarly, you all probably have a little different perspective of advising. Some of you may be advising a great number of students, others perhaps not that many. Those in professional technical or in some disciplines of academic ed, the nature of your advising might be that you do so throughout the quarter. Anyway, I have received a handful of comments, questions, and concerns that have come to me from both AHE members and non-AHE members. And so I have seen fit to take a few moments to hopefully highlight the contract language surrounding advising and give you a little bit of a stronger and maybe more confident sense of what is expected of us as faculty members and our obligations for advising. So let's go straight to the contract. In provision 10.2, let's hope I can find this rather easily. Article 10.2 highlights for us the responsibilities that we have as faculty of Walla Walla Community College. And you may want to take a look at this just in general, but I'm going to be focusing on specific language to our advising responsibilities. So if we see here, specific responsibilities are, let's skip down to provision I. We are to advise and mentor students on program options, career plans, and graduation requirements. Parties agree a task force will be formed to discuss faculty advising and propose changes to the advising program that directly affect the workload of faculty. Recommendations will be forwarded to AHE leadership and instructional vice presidents. Changes to current practices will be negotiated prior to implementation. Seems like there are some typos in there. I apologize. I would like to say I did not write this. Anyway, I think the meaning and intent are fairly clear there. So what this says, this language is not particularly explicit. It says that we will advise and mentor students. It says roughly what areas and focuses we will have in that advising and mentoring. But if you look at this technically, there's no minimum number and there's also no maximum number of advisees that an individual faculty member might take on. I raise this because it seems as though this provision of the contract is probably crying out for some sort of clarification. I just want you to know as we enter into the advising season of our current quarter that technically if you're advising, I would read this, if you're advising a plurality of students, so say 2, and you are doing so in the nature that is described here with program options, career plans, graduation requirements, then technically you are keeping with the contract. Now I bring this up because a lot of you have wondered, now what does the contract have to say about this? Well, that's what it has to say, not a whole lot. I want you to understand that my take on this is if you are advising, as a couple of you have indicated to me, 20 advisees, you are engaging in that's a terrific effort that you're providing the college. It's probably more than you ought to be expected to provide. Clearly, it goes well above and beyond what the contract stipulates. And I'm a big believer that if one wants to make charitable gestures, they should be able to give that charity, not have that charity taken from them. So I guess I would just highlight that this is something that in the coming negotiations, which start at the beginning of this next year, I think advising might be a topic that needs to be revisited. I've heard some faculty say there ought to be extra pay, or there ought to be at least extra PIU credit provided for those who advise a unique number of advisees. I agree with that. I will at the very least say that I see this as very much a workload issue. So whatever this task force comes up with, I think in the negotiations it needs to be understood that if more is going to be required of Walla Walla Community College faculty in the realm of advising, that it needs to be considered in the larger context of things such as pay or other benefits that the college has available to it. So with that, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have a great advising week. And if you have any other questions or want to follow up with this or related matters, please feel free to do that. And my extension is 4493. Let me check that. Yeah, 4493. And I'll look forward to hearing from any of you if you want to follow up. All right, take care.